In WWE, there have been different match stipulations throughout its history. From the famous Inferno match to the match where Shawn Michaels had God as a team partner, well, that's why I will now stop talking. I won't give any more previews for now, and today I will present 5 fights that would not currently be done in WWE Part 2 Number 5, The Fight for Viagra. Billy Kidman and Shane Douglas were competing for the love of Tori Wilson in a rivalry that included high-content adult tapes in which Shane Douglas was shown in a bad light. This was the reason why this stipulation came into play for the first and last time in the history of wrestling. In those years, World Championship Wrestling tried to invent whatever it could to gain the greatest possible rating advantage over WWE. This match occurred in the year 2000 on the weekly Nitro program, the match itself. It's not great, but the interesting part is the end. Billy Kidman grabbed the Viagra, but after coming off the ropes, Douglas caught him and used a shoulder jawbreaker, breaking the bottle with this move, even though the bottle was never really used. Neither did Douglas receive the count, as is typically done. Anyway, he won the fight thanks to Tori Wilson, who at that moment distracted the referee. Well, it's clear that all this rivalry took place with explicit material, quite strong, and surely WWE would not want to replicate it. Number 4, the Asylum match. While this match has existed before, it was invented by Scott Steiner in the year 2000 in World Championship Wrestling. Now we're discussing the WWE version, which is based on the steel cage, and the only match of this kind that took place was between Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho at Extreme Rules in the year 2016. While the match had its highlights, it was the same company that, due to several comments, decided not to hold this match again, because it was quite violent for the current times in which WWE does not want these degrees of violence. Inside their rings, the fight was strange and hard to understand, as this fight is based on a cage with elements above it. Exiting the cage does not result in victory, and you can only win by a count of 3 or surrender. Well, let's better have an Extreme Rules match or a steel cage, but a match where both are combined is not very easy to understand. Number 3, the street fight in Hollywood WrestleMania 12 was the end of a rivalry between Roddy Piper and Goldust. The most androgynous superstar in history provoked Roddy Piper until he got what he always wanted: a street fight in a parking lot. But could we say that this fight was not a fight? Or at least it became a rather cumbersome fight, as it ended up turning into a street chase with 2 cars at full speed on the Los Angeles freeway. Finally, the fans didn't understand anything, and WWE received quite a lot of bad reviews from the viewers. Finally, the fight ended with Roddy Piper victorious in the ring. But since that time, we know that it would not be repeated for anything in the world, because it didn't turn out as they expected and the fans were not happy. Number 2, the Chamber of Horrors. The year was 1991. Was hosting its pay-per-view event Halloween Havoc, where a match called the Chamber of Horrors would debut for the first time. Wow, the name sounds brutal, right? And it surely must scare more than one person. Well, let me tell you that the winner had to electrocute his opponent. While it turned out to be quite a tough fight for the viewers, however, the result was not what everyone expected. That night, El Gigante Gonzalez, Sting and the Stainers participated against Cactus Jack, Damon Stat, who we all know as Scott Hall, Abdullah, the Butcher, and Vader. While the fight had excellent promotion, it only lasted 12 minutes, and it was really a mess as it only concluded with putting one of the rivals in the torture chamber. One of the referees wore a camera on a hat, something like a GoPro camera from the 90s. Outside the cage, there were some white-clad paramedics with a stretcher. All this so that Cactus Jack could electrocute Abdullah the Butcher and the wrestler 3 minutes after the electrocution ended. He stands up as if nothing happened and ends up attacking everyone. No one in the present arena could understand this. The fight was so poorly received and the name of the Chamber of Horrors became something truly absurd. Therefore, World Championship Wrestling never did it again, and WWE would certainly not do it these days. Number 1, the baby fight. This fight is really garbage. Excuse my expression, but it's the most real description you can have. Vince McMahon wanted to take the story of Razor Ramon against 1, 2, 3 Kid, who is better known to all of us as X-Pac, to another level. Vince would create the Crybaby match in Spanish, something like Crybaby, a match where the loser had to put on a diaper and cry until they were given their baby bottle. Something really ridiculous. Well, WWE creatives said that match would never be seen again in the company as it only degraded the product they wanted to sell. And it ended up humiliating and making their wrestlers unconvincing. Apparently, Vince didn't have such a good eye for this match, and his then producer allies refused to make sequels of this wrestling stipulation. Thank you.